Welcome, guys, back to another episode here on Ghetto Kids Taking Over the World. I'm your host, G.K.T.O.W for today, and here with me we got Jarit. And Jarit's going to go ahead and give his background and stuff, but the whole idea of this episode is that we're going to get into how to transfer, right? Not only how to transfer, but how we did it, because we're both transfer student athletes. So it's kind of just give you more insight, kind of give you more on a personal level, how it feels mentally and all this stuff and all these challenges that we had to face. Hopefully that helps you guys out on the transfer process if you're thinking about doing it. But yeah, Jarit, go ahead and tell us who you are.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, my name is Jarit Mejia. I am from Grand Island, Nebraska, which is like 3 hours from here. And obviously, background Honduran. Both my parents and the rest of my family. And yeah, as you mentioned, I'm a transfer. I was a freshman at Iowa Wesleyan, who sadly shut down. And then we're here at Bethany College.
So, I mean, you played college, right? Did you do anything else besides playing college? Like, did you happen to play semi-pro or anything like that?
No, just club.
Because those of you that don't know, like, we happen to be roommates. I mean, we met last year because that was Jarit's first year here, and that was my second year. Yeah, so you played with Jarit 1 year. I happened to be captain that year. But yeah, same as me, that I went to Manning Christian College before I came here, but I transferred in the year before Jarit had got here. So that's kind of a little bit background on how we know each other, how we met, all that stuff. Because coming in, I mean, I went through the process already, one clean year of like transferring, how it felt. And to kind of get into like the first question right away is, sadly, like you said, like your school had fortunately shut down, which sucked. Like, I mean, how did you feel when you heard those news? Like, hey guys, like we're shutting down. Like, you know what I mean? Because no one really wants to hear that. Like, no one wants to.
Oh no, yeah, of course. But it was kind of funny because, it was during second semester. It was like January, February, March. It was like March, April.
Okay.
So it was like March, April, and the night before, all of our professors had sent emails out saying there's no class tomorrow. And I was like, okay, cool. So what I went ahead and did is I turned off all my alarms. I was like, I'm sleeping in, no class tomorrow, yeah. Say no more. Done. And then I'm pretty sure I even like stayed up that night till like maybe 2 or 3, just like watching movies with my friends and whatever. And then apparently they had sent out another email saying we're having a whole school meeting in the auditorium. And so I was like, I didn't see that. So, yeah. So what me and my friends would always do is we'd always leave the door open just in case something like this would happen. So I left my door open when I went to sleep, and it was like 9, because the meeting started at 9. And it was like 9:10, and my friends come into the room. They're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't have class." So I turned off my alarm. I was like,
"I'm chilling. What are you guys doing?"
You good? So basically, my friends, like after the class, they would always go to breakfast and then come to my room to wake me up.
Yeah.
To make sure I didn't miss class. So I was like, I guess I forgot to tell you guys last night, which I'm pretty sure I did. I don't have class this morning, so get out. Go back to sleep. And they're like, "Forget your class. Like we have a whole school meeting right now." And I was like. Bro.
Say swear.
Like, right now, like it's 9 a.m. I'm trying to go back to sleep. Anyways, I ended up just getting up out of bed, and just how I was, I literally just like put on a hat.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even put on socks. I had the dogs out. I had my sandals on.
I hate like I know that's such an ick, but like I don't like that. Like don't like.
I had no time. I had no time. But anyways, before I was rudely interrupted.
Sorry, that's my bad. That's my bad. It's just give me the ick, right?
But no.
My bad,
right? So I get up out of bed, and we're making our way over to the meeting, and then we're like, what do you think it'd be about? What do you think, what happened?
Yeah.
And like we were like, oh, it's probably just like a bunch of like professors getting fired and a bunch of people just getting dropped.
A bunch of people getting fired in the same train.
And I was like, okay.
Saying it to the whole school. Can you imagine that?
That's what we thought. And then we had a group chat like between like the mini 5 of us, which is a group of 5 of us, and like a bigger group, which is like 15 or 20 of us. And in that bigger group, we had asked, we were like,
sorry, dude, hold on. Take your thumb off the thing. Okay. Now keep going.
Okay. We had asked, what could it be about? And then everyone was like, we don't know. Like saying the same thing, like maybe like teachers getting fired, maybe like coaches getting fired, new staff members and whatever. Or just maybe like something big happened.
Yeah.
And then one kid, I guess he knew somehow. He's like, I think it's like there's a bunch of rumors going around that the school's gonna get shut down. I looked at it and I laughed. I was like,
Nah. No way. Nah, it would never happen.
nah. Iowa Wesley,
Never.
And then we get there. We were already late. We were like 20 minutes late, and the whole school's there. So we didn't even get like a good seat. We had to be upstairs in the actual balcony area. And we walk in, and all we hear is, "Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Like it's been a good however long the school's been open for." And I was like, "Oh, he was for real." How did he find out? Because I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything up till this point until that message, and then it's the meeting itself. And I was like, okay. And again, this is like a month before school is let out. So they gave us a month's notice saying that school's going to shut down. We don't know what's going to happen next. Like for our students anyways.
Yeah.
Like our students, we didn't know what was going to happen next. So it's like basically what they ended up doing is like they ended up like slowing classes down, canceling certain classes, and just like if you're failing, they're going to bump up your grade at least to like a passing grade to boost your GPA and help you transfer.
Damn, so if you were failing, you're straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's kind of lucky. I mean, kind of saved a lot of people.
Yeah. I was chilling because I remember the first semester I struggled a little, but that second semester I was like, okay, I need to forget what happened first semester and just lock in and just like actually focus on myself on second. So second semester I was chilling, so it didn't really like affect me for the better or the worse, but it was like now it's like, okay, I'm glad that all my professors are knowing about what's going on, and now they're not letting us, not letting us, but like they're starting to cancel classes, reduce classes, so then we can actually focus on what's gonna happen for at least us freshmen for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Because like obviously seniors, they're done. Like, they at least got their diplomas. They still had their walk
ceremony and all that good stuff
and everything. But then like juniors, it was like I was planning on graduating here next year. Sophomores, it was like
maybe,
yeah. And like freshmen, it was like it's our first year, and now it's happening to us. And so then the rest of that month, it was literally just traveling, and like they were nice enough to take us to like college visits. So I visited D3, Dubuque University, and then I also visited Upper Iowa, which is a D2. And then I had an offer from them, like prior to the visit. So I was like, okay, so this makes it better to go and visit. So then I had we visited Upper Iowa, Dubuque, and then William Penn. And yeah, it was just crazy. Within a month, we were just visiting schools and just contacting schools and didn't know what to do. And
so that was kind of like the process of your transfer.
Yeah,
just all that,
in a
like
way.
just visiting.
And for me, it was like I didn't play my freshman year because prior to me going, I tore my meniscus my senior year of high school. So when I got to Iowa, the first week I was fine. Like I made it through every training session. I made it. Like I was there. And I remember I scored a goal during training, and it was a banger. And one of the coaches was like, because we had like 80 kids, so like no one knew anybody.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like it was a good and a bad thing. But then after I scored that goal, I was going back to line. And the assistant coach turns to me and he goes, "Hey, what's your name? What's your position?"
Yeah,
like,
so I get all the details about you. Boom, boom,
trying to like remember me, and he jotted it down. And then that weekend, I got hurt from my knee, and it was like worse than what like I was
originally
getting better,
was.
and it just dropped back to what it was. And I was like, so then with all that, like I kind of like got into my own head, and I was kind of like sad and everything. And so then I was like, the whole fall season, I was just sad.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do anything. So then spring season, we were just, because like I said, there was a group of 5 of us, and the reason we were all friends was because two of us were hurt, which was me and one of my other friends, and 2 of us were ineligible, which were another 2 friends.
Yeah.
And then out of the 5, there was one that could actually play. So we would always just go and support them and watch them play.
Yeah.
So it was very nice, but our plan coming into spring semester was for the 2 of us that were hurt, get better. And for the 2 that were ineligible, get your grades up, become eligible, and play that spring season.
Yeah.
So then when it comes for fall, we at least know what to expect.
And what to,
we were planning on coming back. And then together we were planning as to coming back for that sophomore season and then leaving for junior year.
Yeah.
So leaving junior year. And then once we got hit with that news, I got scared because I was like, I want to keep playing. Not
Yeah.
keep playing. I want to play because I didn't get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, what do I do? And that first semester, I had another two friends that transferred out with an agent. They bought an agent for like $100. He was cheap at the time, for like $100 or something. And like they found him so many different offers. But the thing was, they showed him clips. I didn't have
Yeah,
any film.
you didn't have anything to back it up.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what he can do for me. Because
Yeah.
regardless, I'm still gonna have to show clips to somebody, to some coach.
Try to,
So
like,
in my
yeah.
mind, it was let me contact somebody to do that for me, because then it'll seem like I'm worth that coach's time
Yeah.
to be seen, if that makes sense. So because I didn't have film from university, what I ended up doing is I just ended up using my high school film, which I had, but I didn't have it like done. I didn't have it completed. So then I had to that whole month it was literally just like going back through every single high school game and just getting my clips.
Yeah.
Which is on YouTube now, but
It's but you have to just literally just start over
yeah,
from
I
scratch.
literally had to start from scratch as if I was becoming a freshman.
The whole process, the whole challenge. Okay, see, even all that, like that must be hard. Like just in general, because like again, you had a month visiting colleges, no clips. Like everything was kind of against you to be like, there's not no way, but it was harder for you to get a good school to play and
Right.
a higher chance to play and get a decent offer even after
Right.
that. So on beyond that, like, cause yeah, like compared to me and you, it was different, right? Like the fact that it was really unfortunate that you just got to shut down and like I'm gonna just stop being a university or college, and. But yeah, your challenges are way more different than mine was, 100%. Because mine was just more the fact of like,
It was more of a choice than it was.
yeah, because mine was like, it was just so opposite between me and you at that point. It was like, yeah, I had clips and like all that stuff to back me up. So my process was pretty, I mean, it was easy in a sense comparing it to like, you know what I mean? Because I know you mentioned it to me before. It's like 1 out of 1,000. You have to get it on your first try that your college happened. And not even a program. It was just like the college.
The whole school.
Which is crazy because when I transferred, it was more common, which is weird. Like it was common that schools get shut down. It was common, which is sad because it sucks. Because a lot of students, it was like, okay, first year, like thankfully, it didn't mess up your credit so hard. But it was like, well, you're looking forward to stay at that school. Juniors, sophomores are kind of like, okay, well, it's a 50-50. I had great memories. It sucked. I could have kept going, but now I have another chance or whatever. Junior year, it's like, okay, like I literally have one more year. Seniors, thankfully, you
at least got to exit out.
Yeah, on a good note. Like you're the last one I can say, yeah, the last one I got my degree from there. Because my process was just way different. Like I went to MCC, same thing. Because did you use field level when you got recruited?
Yeah,
field level? Okay.
And I was actually about to mention that. That's one of the biggest reasons why I decided to come to Bet Thing is because a week after I committed to Iowa Wesleyan, Coach Papa from here, the
during
previous
time.
coach, he texted me that like literally a week, and then he's like, "Hey Jarit, like I know it's getting a little late because it was like June, July,
Yeah.
of like so basically a month or 2 months before moving day
Yeah.
to here." And even over there, obviously. But he's like, yeah, I know it's getting late, and I don't know if you still have, like,
Plans or any commitment. Yeah.
If you have anything settled. And I was like, I read it, and he basically gave me an offer to come here. And then, obviously, I was like, well, I already committed to Iowa, so I won't be able to go. But, if
I'll keep you in mind,
I'll
yeah.
keep you in mind. And then, as soon as Wesleyan shuts down and I bought the agent, he helped me. He found me a school in Tennessee, which was like a D2, the Upper Iowa school.
Yeah.
That was a D2. St. Mary, here in the KCAC, and there was a couple other schools, and obviously Bethany.
Yeah.
But the reason I chose Bethany is because then the new Coach Dane Straight, he texted me through
Field
the
level?
agent. No,
Oh,
through the agent.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, it's kind of weird that like two different coaches saw me from the same school.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's something at
There,
the school
like, yeah.
that's calling me. So I was like, I think I should just at least go check it out and try it.
And that's kind of getting to like that new segment of the podcast. It's kind of adapting to the new team, right? So the other question I had was, what was the hardest part about joining a new team, both on and off the field? Like that's the first question I have for you.
On the field, I would say it was kind of easier,
Mm-hmm.
just because, like I said, at the last school it was 80 kids, so it was way more competition.
Yeah.
I mean, what last year we had like 25.
Yeah, we did not
We
have a big
barely even
roster.
had a.
Yeah,
Obviously
because we had
gotta
like
think
what,
about
like
it.
4 or
There's
5
people
people.
that are ineligible, people that get hurt after games, and then
Yeah.
people just that get sick or whatever. Just something happens or something comes up back home, they have to go.
Well, that's one unfortunate thing too. Is that like I learned my first year when I had transferred, which was the year before Jarit had came here, but I wasn't eligible my first year just because I didn't know. According to NAI, you need to have a certain amount of credits before transferring. Because I was at a D2 in a like a whole different league, and I was the NCCAA, and so the NCAA rules did not match up with the NCCAA rules. So when I had transferred, I was like, okay, so I'm good, right? Like I'm straight. Like I even took a summer class because I know I failed one of my Christian classes over there. So I was like, okay, after this, should be good credits. Like I know some of my Christian classes wouldn't have counted, but my gen eds would. So I was like, okay, I'm good. But then later I found out, oh, you didn't follow the 24 credit rule or the 24-36 credit rule, and I was like, okay, so no one told me. But then time Papa was the one that like recruited me, and the assistant coach happened to be my main coach at MCC when he left. But I just sat there and we were all surprised because none of us knew. Like Coach Diego didn't know during time, Coach Papa didn't know. So I was sitting there, I was like, okay, so I have to set out the season. So that's what happened, sitting out the season. And then when you came, it was so much more different because it came from a pack team to now like a team that had JV. Then when you came, we had no JV. And we had 6 people on the bench. And I mean, who wasn't eligible during that time? I don't remember.
Matty,
Oh, yeah.
and then
That's the only one I could think of. I mean,
Carl got hurt.
oh, yeah. And didn't he
Second
play?
game.
Yeah, yeah.
Second game because of Mount Marty.
Yeah.
G got hurt for the in the first game, and he missed a couple games right after.
Okay.
Inigo was hurt for the first like 2-3 games.
Yeah. So just
So-
literally that year was a bunch of injuries. Like our first year was your first year or our first year playing was a bunch of injuries, which was very not convenient, right? Like no one wants to go through that. Like, I mean, but the plus side is that we played a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge plus side that
Yeah.
if we were thinking about transferring again, at least we had clips.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, as far as like the new team and stuff, like you said, it was not big of a roster, right? More connections with the team at least for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. Like the main difference for me was I think this school when I had transferred, it was more diverse for sure.
For sure.
Compared to MCC,
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't really a lot of. I think there was like one more other Hispanic me on there, but everybody else was from the U.S. As far as that, like the whole team was from the U.S., so we didn't have no international kids at MCC. But at your old school, you had international kids,
we
right?
had everywhere.
Yeah.
We literally had every continent, but like Australia.
Oh, okay. But see, like that, like I never experienced that
So it's
before.
like-
Yeah, until I came here. And
Yeah,
then
when I came here and everyone was like, "Oh, this place is so diverse," I was like, "Yeah," but nothing compares to because we literally had kids from everywhere in South America. We had kids from Africa. We had an Asian. He was no, we did only have one Asian, and then we had like Spain, France, and we had an Italian, but he didn't really play.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we were diverse
Is
in
that
every aspect.
Because on the field for me, I think the hardest part was kind of building a whole nother trust on the field
Yeah.
again. Like as far as on the field, just building trust. I think that was the hardest part because there was times I know players didn't trust me with the ball, I didn't trust them with the ball, but it was just like I think to rebuild that again was hard. That was the hardest part
Yeah,
for me on the field
It
wise.
was kind of funny because that first game against Central Christian, like obviously, I didn't start, but then as soon as I came on, like I remember just feeling so much energy because it was my first game.
Yeah.
Not only for a new school, but my first game because it was
First
like
collegiate.
after 2 years. Because senior year I don't really count it because I was a 5-minute boy because of my injury.
Yeah.
And then obviously freshman year I didn't play. So then now here comes sophomore year where it's like, wow, it's my first game. What do I do? I had so much energy. I was up and down the field. And then I guess coach liked the way I played that he left me on to start for the second half. And then that's when I scored. So
Yeah.
then I scored on my debut. And I remember after the game, Steven comes up to me and he goes, "You know what? When I first met you, I didn't even want to give you the ball. I didn't want to.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
I didn't want to look
it.
at you with the when I had
Yeah.
the ball. Like I didn't even like. You were nobody. But after today, you earned my respect, and now I can give you the ball. And yeah, you might lose it once or twice, but
You'll be fine. Yeah, you'll
but
be
I mean,
straight.
I know you'll recover it.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, even like hearing that, because I mean, like from hearing that from Steven, it was like, wow.
It was special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Steven was one of our best
Yeah.
guys. So it's
Yeah,
like
so it
once
was like-
you've heard it from him, it was like, okay,
I actually know what I'm doing at a
I know what's
certain
my
level.
worth. And I think it's always to hit good feedback like that. And I think that's something off the field wise that was not the hard, like the hardest part was kind of just like the honest criticism of it, right? Like to receive it and to take it, not to get so hurt about it.
Yeah.
So I think that was the hardest part when it comes to dealing with other teammates. The hardest part was kind of hearing something from them, knowing the fact that they're acting like they're not also making mistakes. But when I say something back, it seems to be a whole
argument.
Yeah, I think that was the hardest part off the field wise for me was that. I don't know if it was the same for you.
MCC?
Yeah, it was different because we looked for solutions. I mean, we didn't try to like get on each other. You know what I mean? Because I mean, our roster wasn't big either. We had like 8 players on the bench and they're healthy, or 9 players on the bench that they were healthy and they were good for replacements, or they were better than some starters. But if we were to say something, we just all treat each other the same level. Like, despite of the fact, I mean, some players that we had used to play in bigger leagues. They used to play UPSL before they even got to MCC. So it was like, okay, for being a youngster like that, like, of course, you earn respect.
Right.
But it was like, we look for solutions. We're like, okay, like, if it came in a humble way, then we took it. But if it wasn't, then we didn't take it. But we never came at it without being toxic, without being so hurt that we got to blame.
You never go out of your way to go back at them.
Yeah. But I think that's the hard part here is adjusting to like different ways people take different things. And maybe that's just because diverse. Because for me, I never really had that experience to play with someone like McQueen, right? Like from a different country and played pro there, whatever it may be. I just was never used to it. Especially I'm always used to playing with Hispanics and all that compared to someone else that's not a Hispanic.
Yeah.
How about, was it the same thing for you off the field wise or?
Yeah, in a way. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because obviously I didn't get to play. So
Yeah.
it was like I didn't have that tension with anyone back in my last school, where it's like they held something against me for something I did on the field.
Yeah.
So it was like I didn't really experience that. But from like hearing it from certain of my friends that did play, it did seem like it was like that. So I guess if I put myself in some of my friends' shoes from my last school, then yes, it would, like, nothing would have changed. But since it didn't happen to me, then it's like
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it was new to me.
Yeah.
It was new to me. I'd say that.
And so, as far as still in this like segment of the podcast, what is some key? It's kind of my other questions. Like, what are some key tips for building chemistry with new teammates?
Definitely have that off the pitch
Relationship.
Yeah. It's not even like, oh, we have to be best friends or we have to go out, but at least like get to know them.
Like give it a chance.
Yeah.
Like try something new, be out,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're an introvert, just at least say hi, sit with them.
If by a look and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna like him, like he's not my type of person, and it's like, okay, but how do you know that?
Yeah.
You're doing that based off of a look. You're not even doing that based off of actually getting to know him.
Even then, like on the field of who you are as a person could be very different how you are off the field. Because we had met players that are very serious on the field, but once they leave, they're fun. Or we see people very fun on the field, and
off the field, it's like you don't
maybe
even
they're
know them.
different. Yeah, like maybe they're introverted. Like maybe the soccer is a space for them to be free, and which is great. But like you said, how would you find out if you don't ask questions?
Right.
How would you find out without trying? So, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that was a really important tip as far as like communicate off the field as much as you can. Say hi, sit with them for lunch, and things like that would be very helpful. Invite them out, because I know with you and us, like I remember I invited you, G, and Topo to my room. I was like, hey,
yeah.
like look at my dorm,
Yeah, because that was when you guys did the very first indoor, and I was so tired. I was so tired. I just stayed in my room and I just took a nap. And then when I woke up, I just went out, and then G was talking about you. He was like, yeah, like Chato, like he was, like he's so composed on the ball, like he's so good, he's so techie, like oh my gosh, like when I like get older, I wanna play just like that, because like I don't understand like how he does that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like as far as a freshman, it's like you're amazed by what you see for sure.
Literally. And then I was like, dang, I wish I could have been there to like play and see that. And then, ow.
You heard a pop, bro. I just heard something pop, and that was it.
I don't know what that was. But and then we seen you cross the street to go into your room, and then G yells out at you like he just yells something, and then just I don't even remember.
I literally just like, hey, come on,
said,
like, come see it, like,
yeah.
because I know I told you guys like I was an RA, like, I have a room to
Yeah.
myself, like, you know, all
And
this.
G, because G somehow finds about everything.
Yeah.
He just finds about everything. He's like, yeah, like Chato's an RA, like he's got his own room, and he's like, I bet it's nice. And I think that's how he brought it up. And you're like, yeah, you guys can, if you guys want to
Come on,
see it,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's just so important. It's just like that, like, just be inviteful, especially with the older ones, right? Like, if you already been there for a year, if you already know how it works, if you experienced your first season, experience your first anything, just invite, get to know them, give them a chance. That's one thing I think I learned is like, I got to give somebody a chance.
Yeah.
Because I know there's some people I definitely have problems with, but I'm on a field, at least we respected each other on a level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least we're like, okay, like, we might hate each other after this game, but at least on the level, we're going to know, okay, if I give you the ball, you give me a good ball back, I'm going to give you credit for it, right?
Yeah.
If you do something great, I'm always going to give you a high five, praise you for it, whatever it may be. But I know off the field, at least, if you don't mess with them, just don't, okay, you know, we leave it all on the field, and then after, we don't have to necessarily be best buds.
That's what I was going to say, too, is like, even if you don't like them off the field, it's like you're on the field regardless. You're on the same team regardless. If coach loves the both of you the way you both play together, but you don't, it's like you're going to have to suck it up because he sees something.
And then you have to just deal with it. Like,
something.
If you want to win, you have to deal with that.
As soon as you step on that field, let everything go. I mean, look at Courtois and De Bruyne.
Yeah. But that's
probably the best example.
And the thing is that, like,
they have every right to not even want to be in the same room with each other, but they're mature enough to just, okay, this
like, it is what it is.
Belgium,
yeah.
right? It's for our country.
Something bigger than us. And that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like, that's, I don't know, there's so many things I don't really see that a lot no more.
Yeah.
Like, that respect. That, like, we're doing it for the sport. We're doing it for, by my last name, we're doing it for, you know, school I go to, I have some pride for it. You know what I mean? And so, that's like the best tip that really we can give as transfers is just try it.
Yeah.
Try it. I mean, everything else besides that, like, on and off the field, just try to give some criticism, see how they take it, see them, like, look at them. On game days, like, they might be serious, so respect that. But this one that might be fun, so if that's your type of vibe to be fun, then go be fun with them. Don't distract others from being, like, locked in. If they're serious, they're serious.
Yeah, because I remember I did that again with Central Christian with you.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't saying anything, and then I try to say, I don't even remember what I said, but I try to say a joke, and you're like,
I was so mad, bro. I was not mad, but
no, you were mad, but it was like the fact of what you just said, like off the field, like they might be like, oh, you know, like happy joking or whatever, and then like on the field, it's like different. So, and I remember I was like, oh, this, like if he's like that off the field, he's definitely like that on the field, and then I just remember I went up to you and I tried to say a joke, and you're like,
yeah, bro, don't talk to me. I was so serious, bro.
I remember you said, don't talk to me. I'm trying to lock in. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I tried to say like the same joke to someone else. I was like, oh, they laughed. I was like, okay.
So it is funny.
I know who not to know.
I was seeing you like very open like that. I think Topo was serious. Topo was pretty serious. G was like 50-50. Some serious, some not. I know Feño was back like Feño was whatever. McQueen, same thing. He was funny and active. Tino was funny and active. But I just know for me as a player, I just stay locked in the whole time, especially on game days. But I think that's a difference, right? Like the difference compared to my old school, in a sense, was like the culture and like the playing style, right? And that's kind of getting into the next one. Like, how was the soccer culture different, or playing the style different from your old school to the new school? Because in your situation, like, how, I guess, because you didn't necessarily play, but what was something that the coach, tactical-wise or playing style-wise, that was so different coming into Bethany?
I mean, kind of like what you said. That one's kind of hard to tell because it was like I didn't really get to play, but I mean, yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard in that situation because more for you was like, how was the atmosphere different?
The atmosphere was completely different because like we said, it was like kids were from everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was like they all brought in something different. They all were different than each other. So I mean, like the culture was so different than it is here. It was so different.
Yeah.
Because like it kind of sucked, but like we were just so diverse. Like, or not diverse, but we were so like we just split up into like, you know, I can't think of the word.
We just split up into like different.
Yeah, we had our own little groups.
Yeah.
We had our own little groups. But yeah, it was just so. Obviously, because it was a huge roster. But then when it came here, it was like, because it's such a small roster and it's less diverse. Not by a lot, but it was still less diverse.
Yeah.
Then it was like easier to get along with each other.
Yeah, it was more. It sounds weird, but like forceful. Like
Yeah,
you have
literally.
to, like you
Literally.
the drills and the whole things of. I mean, it's so small of us. It's like I have to. I mean,
Yeah.
I have to. It's not like I think in your experience too, because I never really had that experience of big roster. I kind of did my first year, but even then, like I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So me being personal was much more easier because I found my group. I was like, okay, well, I got my people. Why am I gonna? You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean the playing style for me was way more different because I think more at MCC it was more tactical and coach helping us out in a sense of like when I came here it was more of like yeah we got some tacticals, but it's mostly the players working it out more. And that was just a big difference for me was that more tactical on MCC here is more on us in a sense of like hey I know I can't give you long balls because you won't get them. So I'm gonna have to give it to your feet. Like it's more player conversation wise and figuring it out together because we had to.
And I feel like that was our biggest strength because I clearly remember the first day Fenya was here. Like he literally, we sit down with Josh Amador.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about like each other's play style.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fenya being like, yeah, like obviously like with my size, like I'm not the best at running with the ball or running for the ball. But I'm way better with the ball at my feet.
Yeah, giving it to my feet, down on the ground.
I can get out of sticky situations, and I'll give you a better ball than what you gave me. I promise you. And so it was like, kind of what you said. It was that forceful friendship that we had to build with each other is what ended up helping us, at least get to know each other better on the field.
Yeah, and it definitely is more. You can get more personal with the honest criticism too.
Yeah.
Because at the MCC we were honest, but. Of course, we expected more from the coach, kind of yawn at us when we messed up at something. But here was definitely players came at each other, kind of being like, "Hey, come on!" Like in a good way of sense of like, "Hey, I know you can do better. Come on,
yeah.
you can give a better ball." Yeah, that's just the major difference with me. It was just that playing style of it, and I mean the culture for me, like I said, was different because I didn't necessarily have so many or none compared to MCC in here that I didn't have no international students that I could play with. And I bet that just would have been amazing to experience my first time. But where Manhattan's at, it's not really so diverse in general. So, I mean, yeah, I still liked it. Like, I mean, I kind of preferred MCC's way a little bit more. But I actually liked I'm just glad the culture was different. I just needed something different. And there's no way I can learn without kind of having what you had, like different people giving you a different opinion because of how they played back at home. Especially, I mean, Brazil's playing style is different than the U.S. I've been taught this whole thing my life when compared to someone doing something different. It's like, wow, that's something that maybe I can try it. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm good enough to even play the same way. But yeah, I don't know. That's just for me. Is there anything else that was different or not?
Nah,
it was just simple.
It was just like a bunch of different things.
And what's big difference that you noticed right away coming to a new school compared to your old school? Like your first day here when you transfer was something
the biggest thing I noticed, the first thing I noticed was the whole like where the lights are, the little thing, like the little house. It's not a house. I don't know what it's called. Where the Bethany sign is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That whole structure.
We
didn't have anything like that back in my last school.
Really?
So I was like from that alone, I was like, this school's a lot better. From that alone,
this
I was like,
cooler.
aesthetically, this one was a lot better. But no, I think, like, I would probably even go as far as to say that this was an issue, at least for like me and my friends, is that we would only stay with each other.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have friends outside of our sport. Like we didn't have, or especially like female friends. I didn't have a single female friend at my last school. And here it's like I can literally just
be friends to anybody. Yeah. Anybody.
Yeah. Everyone here is way more friendly than they were at my last school.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, I wouldn't really say is that they didn't choose to be friendly, but it was just like everyone knew what they wanted. Everyone knew what they wanted. Because I think the biggest difference is that here everyone was young. Everyone was young here, and then back over there, everyone was old.
The maturity level was definitely way more different. Yeah. Because it was the same way for me. MCC is like just us soccer guys, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I was a sense of like...
I remember whenever I walked into CAF and I seen like the soccer guys sitting with the soccer girls, I was like...
Yeah. Literally, it was
I
like,
was like, what?
is that normal? Is that not supposed to?
And I was like, are they dating or?
They all in a relationship. I don't know about it. Just chilling.
Like, so I can't talk to her. I can't.
Can't talk to her. Yeah,
I
you're
can't talk to her.
taking. You're taking.
Nah.
Yeah. I'm straight. I'm cool.
Yeah, that was a big eye opener though. That was
Really?
a huge eye opener. I was like, okay,
Anything like on the field wise? But not really. Because I mean, for besides the coaching part of it and like tactical side of it, right? Like the big thing for me was having a locker room.
Yeah, because I don't even. I mean, we didn't even have having a field. We didn't. Our practice
No,
field was
same.
8 minutes away,
Same.
and it was a crappy.
Was it grass?
field? It was a crappy grass field. It was so bad.
No.
And then where we played was 30 minutes away.
Oh, so it's not even the same field.
No.
Really?
That's where our JV did play there, but mostly whenever our varsity would play and our JV would play at the same time,
It'd be somewhere
we'd
else.
go 30 minutes away.
Still grass?
Burlington. No, it was turf.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
kind of
we
weird.
used a different high school's field. So, like for example, let's say instead of using Smokies, so to get a reference to here, right? Like we would drive to Smoky Valley. Smoky Valley was further away because the town was bigger.
Yeah.
So we would drive to Smoky Valley to practice, and then we would get taken to Salina. And I'll imagine Salina was 15 minutes further than what it is already.
Yeah.
So it's 30 minutes away. So we would drive to Salina and play at like what are the high school names? Central? Yeah, we play at like Central's field.
Yeah. It was kind of same for me. Yeah, it was kind of same for me, but I didn't have two different fields. Where we practiced at and played at, it was the same field and it was turf automatically. So I mean, you've seen it. I remember I took you to Manhattan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the complex.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
literally what it was. Which that's one thing that I noticed right away was that like, okay, I don't have to drive. Like I don't have to, because at MCC you have to drive on your own. Like you just meet us there. It is what it is. I mean, the coach would offer is right, but. I was grateful that I had enough seniors on the team that they had cars. I mean, my roommate during the time, the freshman, he had a car. So it was I had to ride no matter what, but I never had that sense of like, okay, I can go to the locker room and like set my stuff up, right?
Yeah.
Like be in it, lock in, have a group talk together instead of having it on the field, like club wise.
I mean, the biggest thing that I do miss is that we had this place called Old Gym. And we'd literally spend the night there. We would go in at like 9 p.m. and we wouldn't leave until like 2 or 3 a.m.
Just playing, bro.
Just playing.
I think that's such a huge thing I miss.
It's like it was like an indoor facility with turf, and so like if it was cold or not, if it was dark out, it didn't matter as long as you made it there before the security guard would
lock the doors.
We had security too. That was another thing that we had security there and we don't hear. They had like their own little office. They had keys to every building.
Like they had it locked down. They had it. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure they had cameras too. And like they had a little cart.
Really?
Yeah.
Was their school that big?
Yeah, it was bigger.
Like bigger than it, yeah.
Like buildings and like campus size, I'd say it was bigger than here. But I think there's more dorms here, which doesn't make sense. Imagine like if New Hall wasn't a dorm and it was just a class building.
Okay.
Like not the design of it, but just imagine that.
Yeah.
So then we had MK, McKibben, ST. I forgot the name of it. I stayed in MK, which was like so it was another thing. I feel like the reason that we were like, guys with guys and girls with girls is because our dorms. Okay. So like here it's co-ed.
Yeah.
Back at my last school, MK, all guys.
Yeah.
ST was mostly all girls, but there were some guys, but that was like I think it was on the third.
Yeah, like level. The smallest corner, if anything. That's how it was.
And then the suites, and those were only dorms.
Really? Your school wasn't a religious school, was it?
Methodist.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like Bethany vibes.
Yeah.
Same way. Okay. Because, I remember, you see my school before, like, it's small. We only had 2 dorms, 2 women's and men's. And then we had 1 building with classes, 1 building for food and, like, a hangout spot. And then we had gym. Like our basketball gym, and we had a little small weight room. Those things I think was such a huge plus transferring and like building wise, structure wise. And something I noticed right away was dorms were better. No communal bathrooms.
Oh my god!
I'm so glad I had to deal with that again, bro. Communal bathrooms, locker room, my bigger weight room, cardio room, and there actually is an indoor facility wise here that we can play.
Yeah.
Compared to MCC, everything was locked after 5. No way you can get in. We had a chapel too. I kind of do miss that because we have a chapel here, but it's not really the same as MCC's. But yeah, I think those are the big ones. Was definitely communal bathrooms, dorms, and locker room. The field too, because it was just walking distance compared to driving a whole 10 minutes every time. And plus dealing with that traffic at Manhattan was just the worst. So yeah, those are the big ones for me that I noticed like that. And it's mostly for you too, right? Kind of just everything.
Yeah, just seeing the field there, and I was like, okay.
It was not. Yeah, that's a huge plus when it comes to that.
The field there, and I was like, okay.
It's like it's better.
Yeah.
Nice. And even then, like the equipment was better too.
Yeah, for sure.
The equipment was better.
For sure. I mean, probably just for the sense that we had a locker room, so we actually have a place to store it.
Yeah.
And not just, okay, what do we do with it now?
Yeah. Or someone has to take it, and it was so bad. But on the academic and personal side of life, switching it, how did you handle the transition academically?
I would say that it was hard at first because it was like I got so used to like all my professors there, and not only that, but like the fact that I didn't commit until like 2 days before we moved into here at Bethany.
Yeah.
So then I didn't even know my academic advisor.
Yeah.
I didn't even know my academic advisor, and then I still didn't know him until this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Finn Dallas.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't even know him. Well, actually, no, I did know him last year, but it was to schedule for my classes.
It was nothing.
And
Like
it wasn't like an actual sit down with them. And this time, I actually have class with them. Actually, like
talking to him, more interaction,
more.
Yeah.
Than what I did last year.
Wait, even on the academic side of it, it's like, did you happen to change your major?
No.
So all the same throughout the whole way.
I kept my major.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how was the classes? Like, was it more harder over there, like homework and stuff, or was it just more of a workload here compared to over there?
It's kind of hard to.
That was kind of like the same, right?
Yeah, it was the same because I mean, even here and there, I wouldn't really get a lot of homework. I really don't get homework. I basically just get graded on quizzes and tests.
Yeah,
and
studying
and
just
stuff. So it's like, regardless, I didn't really have much homework there or here. I'd say I had more homework there just because we had more projects, but it wasn't much of a difference.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't like
I would say it was the same.
Yeah,
it felt the same. Like once I went to my first class there, I was like, and when I came to my first class here, I was like.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can't get that back.
It was the same difference.
Because for me, it was like the academic side was way more harder at MCC.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was way more harder at MCC, especially dealing with, like, because I was learning preaching and I was learning about, what else was I learning about? I was just learning all the religious side of it, right? Like the Bible, like what is it, what it do.
Because you were originally going to be a
youth pastor, which is kind of crazy because those who know me, like there's no way, like, I mean, people back at home know me like as someone who raised up in the hood, like someone who went through the ghetto, the barrio, whatever it may be. So it was never, because I just started my faith too, going to MCC, right? So me wanting to be a youth pastor, I was like, okay, I can do it. Everybody kind of looked at me kind of like, oh, like Chato's going to be a youth pastor, like, he cusses a lot and all this stuff. So I just kind of started my journey there, and I was trying to be it. But the more I got into it, people at MCC were telling me, like, hey, it doesn't really help you. Like, it kind of, like, it does if you're trying to go really big on it. But besides that, like, you get internships, right? Like, you can just kind of get close with the church and kind of not win their heart, but kind of be like, hey, he does know what he's talking about. His faith is right. Like, kind of go based off what I do when I present myself.
Right.
And came here definitely changed it because I wanted to be something now within the sports industry. Always wanted to do it, but when I went to MCC, I was just like, you know what, I think this is another thing. And so when I came here, I definitely changed it academically. Classes were easier compared to MCC. I had less homework here that I had to worry about.
Yeah.
Like at MCC, like
it was then or never.
Yeah, or even then, which sounds weird, right? But if I wanted to cheat, it wouldn't have worked out my way over there. Because there's no way you could have cheated. There was just no, because it's all religious. Like, it's all, like facts, but I would have to say it in class. Like, especially preaching and learning, I have to preach. Like, I can't lie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I never even knew what ChatGPT was because I was like, well, I don't get it. Like, so it was, here, the workload was less, like, compared to MCC, MCC, I was just a huge wreck. always studying in chapel, always studying in the library. So compared to here, which is way more easier.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it sounds good or bad in that sense, but I don't know. For me, it was kind of just easier and less stress.
I think it was still the same.
Yeah.
Still the same, yeah.
Even were your class sizes small?
It kind of depended on the class. Like, for example, Transfer Quest, we had ours called Tiger Expedition and Tiger's Perspective.
Oh, yeah.
So we had our own like little thing, and obviously that was for all freshmen. So like that one was bigger. I remember my English class, that was a big class. My my exercise science class, I forgot the name of it, but my exercise science class, that was a huge class. That was a huge class.
Well, that's like a gen ed in a way, right?
Yeah, it's
degree.
a gen ed for like your major.
Yeah.
So it's like basically something you need. So yeah, and then but then even my psychology class, like the classroom was a bit small, but it was full.
Yeah.
So it was like coming here was like, yeah, some classes are big, some classes are small, but
There's a place and minus too, like, yeah. Well, yeah, here because it's more, yeah, it was way more small at MCC than it was here. It's bigger here than it was at MCC for me, which I kind of like. I like a little bit bigger. I never liked. I like 1-on-1, but it's different when you have like 5 or 6 students in the class compared to now you have 14.
Yeah.
Which actually gives me high school vibes, but I'd rather prefer that than just having 6 students like staring at. I don't
you
know.
actually have to respond.
Yeah, like I have. Like we go down each way, bro.
Yeah, you can't rely on like you got it. Fine, I guess.
Yeah, bro.
How's your day?
My turn, your turn, bro. Start messaging before. Hey,
Give me odds.
No, 1 through 10. Say swear. Say 4.
Yeah.
And then, even then, like over there, I don't know. It was just more serious MCC. The whole general part of it. Academic side is more serious compared to here. It's still serious if I made it serious. Over there, they're on your butt 24/7. They're like, why didn't you do it? It's because there's 6 people in the class, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was. I just remember so many times as a professor to talk to me like, hey, Chato, like I seen the game. You did really good. You're number 8, right? Like all this and that. And I'm sitting, I'm like, I forgot. Like this guy literally lives right next to the field. Like he's gonna
be there.
Yeah, like of course he's gonna remember me. And kind of being the only Hispanic there was like,
it was hard to miss.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, like. Yeah. I was like,
Black hair.
I just remember it so much, and I remember so many times they called me too for like, Chato, like, can you help us translate this or whatever it may be. So I just kind of said it. I was like, okay, it's kind of hard to miss me at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially living in the dorms, it was just so personal. It was so much more personal at MCC than it is here, as far as the professors and all that. Kind of leading into my next question: what has been the most rewarding, or the most difficult part of adjusting to life at a new school outside of soccer?
Well, I mean, I'd say I have more friends now.
Yeah.
I have more friends now. And it's kind of weird, but like I had more of a deeper connection with more friends at my last school, but I have more friends now. And like I said, outside of the sport. So I think that's kind of rewarding because it's kind of like, ow. Just been my time. Bro, I'm just getting hurt. I swear.
I swear. Bro.
But obviously you said off the field, but I'm gonna bring it back onto the field. But yeah. I mean, it's like having more friends, so it's like I actually get people to come to the games. I actually get people to come and watch me play. So it's like, and then it's like, if you came and watch me play, then I guess I'll go watch you play.
Yeah, like they definitely have a bigger support system.
Yeah, literally.
Remember, bigger compared to one at home.
That was the word. But yeah.
Well, yeah, the same thing was for me. I think the only difference is that, like, as a community, like, as a school itself, like, Bethany College here, it's kind of still within your own groups, but it's kind of within your own sport as far as, like, everybody wanting to do something together. Unless you have, like, those that are kind of outsiders, like how we're close with some basketball girls. Of course, we're going to go watch them play because we're close. But at MCC, is like, we all went no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, we went. Like, because we only had soccer there. We didn't have football. We didn't have, just had a cross country, I think. We had volleyball. We had basketball, women's volleyball, and men's basketball. That's all I can really
Women's
think of.
volleyball?
Women's volleyball. I said it right? Women's volleyball.
Yeah.
What did I say?
No, it's because I thought you meant to say women's basketball.
No. Well, yeah, I have that too.
Oh.
I was going to say men's and women's basketball, women's volleyball, men's and women's soccer. And then we had a cross country we did last year. I was there. But besides that, I mean, we were all at volleyball games. We were all at basketball games. We are all at soccer games, which is kind of crazy, but it was such a flex too going to school now because it was like, oh, you see me play, huh? Yeah, you seen that? And like,
you seen
I was
me get my ankles broken?
Yeah.
That,
All right, bro,
number
all right,
8
you gotta say it like
captain. That was
No,
me.
all right, bro, I tried for real. I was trying. But yeah, for me, I think for that transition, yeah, closer community wise at that school here, way more friends and more closer connections in the sense of like one on one.
Yeah.
They were closer as a community, but one on one, like we got close to basketball going to Kieran. We got close to like Big Crib and volleyball. We had got close to. I mean, yeah, you got more close to everybody else because like for you were more out there than I was for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like once I seen that, it was like I kind of want to try to be friends with more than just my sport.
Yeah.
So it was like not in the sense of like to build my what was it the word you said, support system?
Yeah, your whole support system there.
Not that, but just to actually like find new friends.
Yeah.
And actually have friends outside of my sport. And
that was the thing, bro.
Find people. I was like, just give basically what we talked about earlier. Give someone a chance. You don't know.
Especially learning their culture, bro. I think the culture side was huge. Because when I got closer with, like even like Tino, McQueen, some of these other players are definitely out of not only the state of New Mexico or even Kansas, but also just figure out more of like outside the country. How is it? What's the process like? Mm-hmm. Like it's way more harder for them to go home. Way more expensive. Way more like they have to fight.
More cons than there are pros.
Yeah. And so for them to understand that they sacrifice a lot enough just by leaving their country and their hometown, it's just like learning more about like, what are traditions that you do, right? Like what are the meanings behind it, how important it is for someone else. And it pushed me in a lot of ways for sure as far as being more disciplined with myself, but also I'm glad I gave that chance. I still got to give those chances. But it's so different compared to, I feel like you're definitely more energetic as far as, me playing, I already played, so what's the point? As far as you, it's like, I haven't played yet, so I have a point to prove. Like, I want to. So, yeah, anything outside academic-wise and stuff, it's so great to have that support system. Way more nicer when you see someone coming just for you, knowing that I made that connection. So, that was the most successful or nice thing was getting new friends that come support you for you. Mm-hmm. Difficult part, I guess, not being as close as the community.
Yeah.
I think that was it for me.
Yeah.
Because, football players really don't go watch soccer. Everybody goes watch basketball here. It's cool. That's all I can really say when it comes to that, bro. It's cool. It's cool. Whatever, Ezra played great, but anyways, as far as the next segment, managing pressure and expectations. Did you feel any added pressure to perform at the new school, knowing you transferred in it for more opportunities or a better fit? So, did you feel? You kind of did because you played. Yeah.
100%. Mainly for like the returners.
Yeah.
Because it was like.
Because you were.
It was like, okay, he's a transfer. Why did he transfer? What did Dane see in him? Is he really is he good enough to be considered a transfer?
Yeah.
And me without having any experience, it was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out too.
Yeah, we're gonna both figure it out because no one knew. No one knew your situation. We didn't know you were hurt. We didn't know any of that.
Because ow.
Yeah. Bro, every time, bro.
I already forgot what I was gonna say, bro. This is the last time you're gonna see me on this podcast because I just keep getting beat up. I don't know what this is, but this just popped. I bit my tongue, now my knee just popped.
No te evites.
Ya me agüité.
I gotta start learning how to say that part. I can never say that part. Anyway, sorry.
But no, I just remember even when I came, I was so happy. I was just anxious in a way because I was like, what if the new people I go to meet aren't the same people and they don't accept me the same that my friends did last year?
Yeah.
So it was like, when I came, I was like, I want them to think I'm young. So then whenever they find out that I am a transfer, it's like, okay, he doesn't seem like one, but he does act like one. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to play mind games in a way.
Yeah.
And I didn't, before I came, I fully shaved. I came, I remember my mom, she was like, why would you do that? I was like, Mom, relax, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So when I came, even Inigo was like, I thought you were a freshman this whole time because you look so young. And then maybe a week and not a week, what am I talking about? Like half a month in, so like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later,
Yeah.
like you start seeing my facial hair grow in.
He started to,
And
yeah.
and you was like, oh, never mind. He does look like a transfer now.
Yeah. And now
And
he
it was
looks
like,
something old. Like, yeah.
he actually looks like what he's talking about.
And he knows the meaning behind it.
Yeah. So then it was kind of just like coming in. It was like I wanted to come in as if I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So then if I did mess up, it was like I have an excuse. in a way.
Yeah.
have
To
an
that, you have
excuse.
to lean back on it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm not tripping.
I was like,
it is
you
what it
see,
is.
I'm actually a freshman. Like, I was
Yeah, like, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Like, I'm new.
I don't have anything.
That was such a one thing too. That when I sat there and I learned more and more about, like, just being new, it just didn't feel the same though either way.
Yeah,
like,
it never feels the same as your first official new time.
Yeah.
It never feels the same.
And then I think that was just it. Like, just coming new was like, it was added pressure that now you have to show something once you go, hey, he's a transfer. He has to be good.
Yeah.
Like, he has experience. Like, he has to not be like whatever.
It was that. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, that's already pressure. Then added pressure onto that is that I didn't even know if I was good at the collegiate level.
I don't know if I was about it. Like, I didn't even know if I'm ready for this type of NAI level.
It's like, I don't want to just, because I feel like the first few practices, I feel like I did good.
Yeah.
I did good. So I don't want them to think, oh, he's just a practice player. So it was like that first game, I was so scared. I was so scared. And I remember once he said I wasn't starting, I was like, really? And I was like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good thing.
Just to see it first before I can come on and make that
I was
difference
like,
right away.
I want to actually, because obviously I would go watch like my last school play, but it was like now I'm on the bench, knowing I'm gonna go in watching them play.
They're gonna warm up, do everything,
It's a different perspective of watching it on the bleachers than it is watching it from the bench.
and giving that possibility of like I'm gonna go in.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna go in.
Because Dane literally told me, he's like, yeah, you're gonna go in at some point. So I was like, okay, I need to
lock in,
I
and
need to actually pay attention to. If I play wing, I need to know what my fullback is doing. If I play in the midfield, I need to know what the six or center backs are doing.
Yeah.
How to feed the ball, how to receive the ball.
what's working, what's not working, what can I change?
So like I just that was just so. It was a nice feeling.
Yeah.
It was a nice feeling because it was like I was scared, but I knew I had it.
And that's, I think for me too, like it was that, like, of course we'll never get that back as a freshman. It's like, yes, like, new school, new city, new vibes, like new me, like no one knows me. But at this point it was like, okay, I know who I am as a player based off MCC. I knew who I was, how I played, what was my weakness, what was my strength. So it wasn't really so much added pressure, but it was just kind of like, can I still back up? Like back up that, I'm a transfer, I win. Because during the time, some guys knew, or I don't know how Papa kind of told the guys, and I trained with them before since MCC and Bethany is only an hour away. I came for like 3 practices, and it was scrimmages, and they all seen how good I am. So it's like, okay, can I keep it up? Can I show that, hey, I'm a transfer and I'm ready for this level? And over there, they knew, like some of the players knew, Chato went to nationals with MCC, and he won conference with them or whatever it may be. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I have to just back it up.
Yeah.
And I can do it because I played already. Like, it's not so much pressure. It's just so much of, like, just keeping it up. Keeping it up where I've been starting since freshman year. And boom, 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 boom. But besides that, I don't think there's anything more as far as added pressure. For me, anyways. Like, it was just kind of like...
I feel like for me, too, it was just that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, he's a transfer. He has to be good. And me not knowing if I was.
Yeah. Because I understand when other people are transferring, I was like, okay, I get why you should have pressure. Because especially if you come from like a D2 school. D2 or D1, you go down to NAIA, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but I'm going to expect high things from
It's like you're expecting it to be reversed. You're expecting to go from NAIA to D2 or 1.
Yeah.
And now you're just
flipping it back. And that can be many things. You're not getting enough playing time, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
Happens a lot. And that's not even the bad thing about it, but as long as you show your D2 worthy. Yeah. Or as long as you that, I think that was... I guess if I were to add pressure was that, like, it came from nationals, like they better see a national player playing and producing. And I don't know if I did or didn't. Kind of everybody has their own different opinion, but I guess that's the only pressure I got was like, just because of what I done with the team and I actually played was a part of that. Can I back it up and just boom, like, I went to nationals. Like it was because of me. Not in the sense of why we did it as a team, but it's like I helped out.
I was part of that team.
Yeah, I gave my portion of the recipe and it worked. And then even beyond that, it's like how did you deal with the expectations coming in being a transfer athlete?
my biggest thing is like even with like pressure or whenever I'm angry or whenever I'm just like happy.
Yeah.
Like no matter what emotion I'm feeling, I feel like I just found out a way to just like convert all my emotions into energy.
Mm-hmm.
So like putting everything I feel or like I have at that moment and just putting it onto the field.
Yeah.
So like I feel like because I was so anxious and because I was so energetic, it was why I was able to score. Because I mean, I remember when I scored, I told G, I was like G, because he something had happened to his family member.
Yeah.
So then I was like G, I promise you, I don't remember if I said I'm gonna score or if I said if I score, but whenever I told him I was like if or I'm gonna score, I'm gonna dedicate the goal to you. And then I remember as soon as I scored, I kind of forgot about G for a second.
But it's because you ran
For a
off. I don't know if you ran right or
second, I forgot
left, but
about
you were
G.
gone.
I literally just ran. I was like, oh, I promised this guy. Let me do a loop.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I'm here. You see, I told you it was for you.
I never forgot about you. Day one, bro. Day one. Day one.
But yeah, it was just like, in a way, I just kind of know how to like make my like emotions produce it into energy.
Yeah. And even then, I think the way that we kind of both deal with it, to kind of, because out there here now, it's like the same way. Like, we kind of both deal with it by showing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what I got.
It's like if someone talks down on me, it's like, okay, I can either reply back to him and look like an idiot and make a whole scene, or
Show him.
just show him wrong, prove him wrong.
And that's the thing I
Which
miss.
is the biggest thing.
Yes, bro. That's the thing I
biggest thing.
miss, bro.
It's part of maturing. It's like, okay, you're going to let him talk, but you're going to basically just leave him hanging because you just proved him wrong.
It's even then going to that reference of like if you're at D team, you come down and you've been a bench player. It's not because you're not good, but and we're always gonna have those. If you're a college player now on the soccer side of it, and you know you should be starting when it's like a fact, and you're not, I think the best thing to do from there is like, okay, hey, like let me show these guys why they missed out. Let me show them that they made a mistake for not playing me. That's just something that I think the guy should always fall back on. Is like that. Is like let's go back on it. Let's do it. Let's. Let me show them. Let me show them. So I think that was the biggest way to deal with this, to show instead of not just being there. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then what? I think I already answered this. Oh no. I mean, yeah, we kind of already did answer. It was what impact did the transfer process have on your mental health?
Yeah, it was kind of what you said. We kind of just answered it, but it was like more or less the fact of I didn't know if they were gonna accept me the way that my last school accepted me.
Yeah.
And just like me as a person, not even as a player, because as a player, it's like you have different players, so you can get replaced, which is like messed up. But it's just the fact.
It's the truth. It's the
truth. Fact. Like there's obviously our roster size wasn't that big, but if I wasn't good enough, then obviously why would he want to play me? You know. Mm-hmm. So it was like more of like building connections.
Yeah.
Because like that connection I had with my friends at my last school, it was like I didn't know if I was ever gonna get that back. But then it was like kind of what we talked about was like give people a chance.
Yeah.
So and it was. I just gave people here a chance, and I was like, you know what?
It worked out.
Yeah, it actually worked out.
And so as we're getting close to this segment, we're kind of just done, right? But now we're going to the advice part. Mm-hmm. So for those who are wanting to transfer, what advice do you want to give to them?
I would say is even if you don't like the school you're at, because I mean, you're never gonna not everyone's gonna like the place they're at, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't like the place you're at, but you're getting that playing time, take advantage.
Yeah.
Take advantage. At that point, don't even do it for the school. Don't even do it for, the badge on on your chest. Do it for the name on the back. Do it to get your film. Do it to, just get your stats.
Yep.
Get your
Let's
goals.
get it up and
get your assists.
do it.
Get anything you need. Get your film. Get everything. And then get out.
Yeah, that's the best advice. So you just go somewhere that you have a higher chance.
There's so many people that I've even at my last school and here and just people that I know is like, oh, I don't like it here, so why would I try?
Yeah.
Try so you can get out. Try so you can play somewhere where you actually want to be. Try so you can play at a place where you feel comfortable.
Even then, give yourself a second chance by trying. So yeah, I think I agree with Jared. That's the best advice we can give you. Is that
not even to prove people that don't like you, not even to prove them wrong, not even to prove the haters wrong, not even to do any of that, but it's just for yourself. Mm-hmm. If you don't like it here, try your best for yourself, nobody else. get your film, get your stats, get anything you need, and then get out.
And would you change something different? Like, if you were to do it again, what's something you would change? Or you wouldn't change anything?
I mean, obviously, like with my knee, I would probably say because I feel like I genuinely feel like I tore my meniscus because I tore my meniscus, but I feel like I tore my meniscus because I overworked myself my senior year.
No, so,
So
having
I
enough
feel
rest.
like if I would have just like not worked, not worked as hard, but taken more rest days and actually taking care of my body better, preventing my injury, then I wonder how that what that path would have looked like.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I'm glad that happened because during that time off, like obviously because I wasn't playing, I was paying attention.
Yeah.
I was looking at like, okay, that step over worked, that didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That move worked, but this one didn't. So it was like, I feel like I'm a different player than what I was from before my injury.
Yeah, when you started, not how you finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I don't think I would have changed anything. I think, because after I did everything that I can at the soccer level,
Soccer level, I got you.
Soccer level. As far as I won conference, I've was a captain. I've ended off going to nationals and being in the semis and like losing by a close game, not by a whole blowout. So yeah, I don't think I would have changed anything. I guess the only one was maybe waited a little bit more time to hear more offers, instead of maybe
Just
like just to see, right? Like
Yeah.
just to kind of just see what it was, and no matter where you go, you're gonna have that if and that. But just what has happened and based what I have done in my career, it worked out fine. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I would have. It's worked out fine.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think I should have waited a little bit longer, in appropriate timing, not waiting so long until like the end, but kind of waiting a little bit longer to see more offers, give more offers a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really it. I mean, that's all. I mean, as we close, any last advice that you would want to give to these guys that are, in general, soccer players?
Yeah, for sure. I would say like for like what I'm about to say is like for like off the field stuff.
Yeah.
Like for me, like soccer is just like it's life. Like for me, I live, breathe, and I just think about soccer all the time. It might not always look like it, but I mean, I feel like I do. But like a biggest analogy that I've always thought of is like whenever you get scored on, the ball's already in the back of the net. The tally's already gone up on the scoreboard. You can't do anything about it. It just all that matters is how you react, how you come up from that mistake. And it's the same thing as in life. It's kind of like what we just talked about. Like, would you go back and change anything? Like, yeah, obviously I would. Like, as a person, I would say I would love to change this, but morally, that's what made me who I am.
And why would I change who I am when I love it? So
Exactly.
I think that's the best advice that anybody can hear, really, because like I said, it just happens. What matters is what you do next, not what you're doing at the moment. So
Exactly.
I mean, you know what? I think it was a good podcast. I think it was great questions needed to be answered. I think it was definitely good insight that these guys get to have as far as athletes. As we close out, Jarit, thank you so much for coming on.
Sure.
Thank you again for not only, because you guys don't know, but he's kind of like my best friend here, and he also is my roommate. So
All I had to do was just cross the bathroom, and I made it.
that's pretty much it. Yeah, pretty much it. But again, Jarit, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Guys, Jaret's going to sign us out, and what we do here is that he's going to sign his name on the flag on top of, if you have not watched recently, it's with Vaughn. He happens to be entrepreneurship with designing shirts. Please go ahead and look at that video. But yeah, thank you again, Jarit, for coming on. Thank you for just kind of being with us, and go ahead and sign us out. And again, let me get my phone out, because not to eat this. Thank you, guys, and go ahead and sign us out, Jarit. You didn't even decide where to even, sign it?
See, as a joke, I kind of said I was going to cover all your...
Oh, don't do it on there.
Well, you just put it... Okay, whatever. I was gonna...
Yes, sir. Thank you guys again. We'll catch you guys.